All right, on our way to get our donut. All right, honey, what kind of donut do you want? Pizza?
Good morning, Boston. Just flew in from Rome. Boy, are my arms tired.
Ciao.
Buongiorno.
So, who are you supposed to be?
Well, I'll tell you. In 3rd century Rome, I was a deacon of the church. But then the prefect of Rome came around and started demanding payment. He told me he wanted the treasures of the church. So I went out into the streets and gathered up all of the impoverished people I could find and said, here are the treasures of the church. Well, he didn't think that was very funny, so they tied me to a gridiron over hot coals and roasted me alive. While I was sitting there, I thought it was a pretty good line, so I said, hey, turn me over, I'm done on this side. They didn't think that was funny, but someone did, because now I'm the patron saint of comedians. Waka waka! You got it! I'm St. Lawrence. Congratulations. And who are you?
Well, I am an Italian mama, and this accent I am doing will offend all of our Italian viewers. But I loved all the children, and I took care of them as a pediatrician. I really wanted to go to Brazil and serve the babies and mothers there, but my health was not good enough to go. So I lived my whole life in Italia, eating all the pasta and taking care of all the babies. I had 4 children myself. Congratulations, I'm St. Gianna Mola.
Happy belated All Saints Day.
Some kids around the diocese dressed up as their favorite saints.
Holy angels of God, Saint John the Baptist, Saint Joseph, Saint Peter and Saint Paul, Saint Mary Magdalene, Saint Catherine of Siena, Saint Francis of Assisi, Saint Vincent de Paul, Saint Bridget of Ireland, Saint Nicholas, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, Saint Kateri, Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, all holy men and women.
In Wayland, the religious ed classes played a new kind of bingo, where they had to interview saints to fill up their card.
kids dress up as saints is so inspiring.
And not just dressing up like them, but actually becoming them. Carlo Acutis was born in London in 1991, but grew up in Milan. He was a 21st century teenager who enjoyed soccer, watched Pokemon, and played video games.
But there was something special about Carlo. His mom describes him as an influencer for God. He used his love and skill of computer programming to make a website that documented all the Eucharistic miracles.
He had a great love for our Lord and Our Lady. Daily, he went to Mass and prayed the Rosary. Sadly, he was diagnosed with leukemia, but he offered all of his suffering for the Church and the Pope. And at the age of 15, Carlo passed away.
A miracle was attributed to Carlo's intercession, and on October 10th, he was beatified. Since then, pilgrims have been pouring into Assisi to venerate his body.
Carlo used to say, when you go to a rock concert, you see thousands of people, or a football match, or when the latest phone is released, there are queues in front of the shops, but I do not see this queue of people in front of the tabernacle.
That's a good point. He's right.
Thankfully, though, thousands of Hispanic youth did gather before the Eucharist virtually at this year's Archdiocese of Boston Encuentro.
Mis pies, lo siento en mi alma y en todo mi ser.
The 3-hour gathering featured inspirational music and a number of witness talks.
Gracias, estoy muy feliz de poder participar en este encuentro juvenil virtual. Para mí es una inmensa alegría.
Cardinal Sham offered an opening prayer and remarks.
Oración, empezando en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo.
And there was a special guest appearance by actor Eduardo Verástegui.
Estar con todos ustedes. Es un honor estar con jóvenes guerreros de oración que toman su fe en serio y que están listos para hacer de este mundo un mejor lugar con la ayuda de Dios.
4,000 people were watching at the time of the event, and the video now has over 10,000 views on Facebook.
Tú eres la persona más importante en este lugar, Señor. Y hoy lo queremos confirmar con este canto.
While Encuentro happens every year, this year had a special Year of the Eucharist theme.
To help their community enter into the year, the Oblates of the Virgin Mary at St. Clement's in Boston created spiritual exercises for the Year of the Eucharist.
The spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola prayerfully reinforce the fundamental truth of our Christian faith, which the Catechism of the Catholic Church states in its very first paragraph, that our God, who is infinitely perfect and infinitely good, created man out of love to participate in the life of God. The best way for man to participate in God's life was that God sent his Son into the world, not just to be born and to live, but to ultimately die and resurrect for the salvation of all human beings. Beginning with the fall of our first parents, and then progressing to the birth of Jesus Christ, prayerfully going through his mission on this earth, and then following him to Calvary, all to watch him die on the cross, and then to be there at the first resurrection. The spiritual exercises help every person who prays them to realize and discover how God is calling him or her to participate in the economy of salvation, to discover the plan that God has for his or her life, his or her vocation, to receive God's love, his goodness, and his perfection, to then give God's love to all those whom they encounter in their particular vocation that God has called them to in this life.
Well, we're coming to the end of our show.
Wait.
What?
I wanted to give a shout out.
But Emilia, we stopped doing that segment.
So I wanted to add it back in.
Yeah, but there's a process. All creative changes need to be approved by the bird.
The bird? When did the bird get a say?
He approves or disapproves. You know what? Do your shout out. Do your shout.
Listen, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the transitional deacons that got ordained on October 24th. Those guys really deserve it.
Yeah, all right, that was worth it. And come to think of it, I think I have a shout out too. We should give a shout out to Sister Carla, who professed her final vows as a Trappistine.
There we go. See, isn't it a good segment?
All right. Are we done now?
Yeah.
Well, that's our show.
If you have a story you'd like to share,
email us at coffeeanddonuts@rcab.org.
I'm Emilia.
And I'm Mike.
Until next time,
God bless.